Alright, sports fans, it took an extra day, but Week 16 is finally over, and I'm here with your results. As you may recall, Madden and I only disagreed on 3 out of the 16 games on the Week 16 slate, so we're going to leave those 3 games until the end. Let's look at the 13 games that we did agree on. So, starting with the Thursday Nighter, which was Carolina-Pittsburgh, we both picked Pittsburgh to win by a score of 26-3. It was not that far off. It was 27-3 for Pittsburgh, so Madden almost gets the score exactly right, and we're up 1-1. Okay, Dallas and Arizona, the game played on Christmas Day. Well, we both picked Dallas to win. Madden's score prediction was 28-6. Arizona won that one, though. It was 27-26, so we're still at 1-1 after those two. Let's go to New England and Buffalo, getting into Sunday now. We both picked New England to win, Madden by a score of 30-8. Not too far off. The actual final score was 34-3. So New England did win that one. We're at 2-2. The 49ers and the Rams. We both picked the Rams to win, Madden by a score of 24-18. It was 25-17, so another one not too far off. And you can make that 3-3 for us. Let's look at Baltimore-Cleveland next. We picked Baltimore to win by a score of 24-17. Actual final score, Baltimore 20-10. So you can make it 4-4. Let's move on to Detroit and Miami. We picked Miami to win by a score of 10-3. Actual final score, there was much more scoring, and it was actually the other team that won. Detroit final score 34-27. So we're still at 4-4 after that one. Okay, let's make it, let's look at Washington-Jacksonville. Now, we picked Jacksonville to win by a score of 17-10. Actual final score was 20-17, but we picked the wrong winner again. It was Washington, so we're still at 4-4 after that one. Okay, Tennessee and Kansas City. We picked Kansas City to win by a score of 24-7. Actual final score was 34-14. Kansas City did win that game, so it is 5-5. I've given up using 2 hands. 5-5. Houston and Denver we'll look at next. We picked Houston to win by a score of 22-21, and the winner did indeed win the game by 1 point. It was 24-23, but we picked the wrong winner again. It was Denver, so it's 5-5 still after that one. Indianapolis and Oakland. We picked the Colts to win by a score of 30-17. It was 31-26, but Indy did win it. You can make it 6-6 for us. A nice critical one, the Giants and the Packers. We picked the Packers to win by a score of 31-13. Actual final score was 45-17 for the Pack. So you can make that one 7-7. Okay, San Diego and Cincinnati. We picked San Diego to beat the Bengals by a score of 20-9. They did not, though. It was the Bengals by a score of 34-20. So you can still make it 7-7 after that one. And the last game we agreed on was the Monday Nighter, which was New Orleans and Atlanta. We both picked the Saints to beat the Falcons by a score of 27-17. Actual final score was the Saints by a score of 17-14. You'll remember if you watched the pick video how I hemmed and hawed over that one and changed my mind a whole lot, but it turns out I was right. So after the 13 games that Madden and I agreed on, we're at 8-8. So not too bad. So there were 3 games that we did not agree on. Let's look at those now. Let's start with our Tuesday night special. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings. My pick was Philadelphia. Madden's pick was Minnesota by a score of, well, I'll hold off on the score for a minute. Actual final score was 24-14, and this is the second time all season that Madden has gotten the score exactly right. It was. Madden did pick the score to be 24-14 for Minnesota, and it was indeed. Second time after a Week 5 game between the Redskins and the Packers. So Madden got the score exactly right again, and Madden got the game right, so it was, you can make it 9-8 for Madden after that one. Okay, let's look at the Jets and Chicago. My pick was Chicago, Madden's pick was the Jets by a score of 28-24. It was 38-34 for the Bears. So we're tied at 9 again, with one game to go. That was Seattle and Tampa Bay. My pick was Tampa Bay. Madden's pick was Seattle by a score of 24-6. You can make the final score in that game 38-15 for Tampa Bay, which means I win the week yet again by a final score of 10-9. Okay, if you look at our season totals, after 15 weeks, it was me 139, Madden 126. So if you add my 10 to 139, you get 149. And if you add Madden's 9 to 126, you get 135. So, total scores after 16 weeks. Jordan, 149. Madden, 135. So, I think you know who's going to win the total score unless I totally bomb in the Week 17 picks. So anyway, as I run down the Week 17 matchups, I'm not going to do a pick this week because there's no Thursday games or anything. All the games for Week 17 are going to be on Sunday, so I'm going to do all of those in one shot whenever I record the video, which will likely be Thursday. So no picks in this video. So as I run down the matchups, I'll kind of run down the playoff standings as well, so you get a good idea of what's going on there. Start with the AFC and work our way down the way the seeds are now. So, starting at the number 1 seed in the AFC, which is the New England Patriots, who lead the AFC East Division. And they can't be caught. They're at a 13-2 record, so they have clinched that number 1 seed, home field advantage, all that nice stuff. So they play the Miami Dolphins this week, so at home. So kind of hard to say. I'm not doing the pick right now, so I shouldn't be thinking about it. But but they may be resting their starters. They may not. Who knows? I'll try and get some news on that before I actually make the pick. So, okay. In the number 2 seed right now is the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 11-4 and currently tied with the Baltimore Ravens. Pittsburgh has the lead in the division right now based on a tiebreaker, but they do have the same record as the Baltimore Ravens, who are in the same division. So Baltimore currently sits at the 5 seed by virtue of that. So the Steelers, they play at Cleveland, and Baltimore plays at, they play at home to Cincinnati. So Pittsburgh wins and they clinch the 2 seed. But if Pittsburgh loses and Baltimore wins, then Baltimore gets the 2 seed. So that's the way it stands in the AFC North. Let's move on to the number 3 seed is the Kansas City Chiefs, who have clinched the AFC West. They can't get any higher or lower, so that's the way it is. They play Oakland, so they may be resting, and I would suspect with a quarterback like Matt Castle, who's just had his appendix out, he probably would rest. So they probably don't want to take any chances with him. In number 4 right now is Indianapolis. They have not clinched the division yet. Indianapolis plays Tennessee at home. Indianapolis would clinch with a win over Tennessee, but if Jacksonville plays at Houston. If Jacksonville wins and Indy loses, then Jacksonville would steal the AFC South Division and the number 4 seed. So Indy is in with a win. Jacksonville is in with a win and an Indy loss. So that's how it stands there. Already touched on Baltimore. They're in number 5 right now, but they could move their way into number 2. And the number 6 seed right now is the New York Jets, who are at home to Buffalo. So, kind of where the AFC stands right now. Okay, let's move on to the NFC. Currently in the number 1 seed is Atlanta, who leads the NFC South Division. They play at home to Carolina, which should be a pretty easy game. They're 1 game ahead of the New Orleans Saints, who are currently in the number 5 spot by virtue of their wild card position. Saints have also clinched a playoff spot, so by virtue of their win over Atlanta this week. If the Saints, by the way, play at home to Tampa Bay. So if the Saints were to win that game and Atlanta were to lose to Carolina, the Saints would pull into a tie, and the Saints have the tiebreaker, so they would steal the number 1 seed and the NFC South division from Atlanta. So divisions have not been clinched. Both teams have clinched playoff spots, but still a lot of jockeying to go there. So number 2 right now is the Chicago Bears, and they could potentially move into number 1 as well if both the Saints and the Falcons lose and they beat Green Bay. They play at Green Bay this week. Then the Bears would steal that number 1 spot as well, but they have clinched at least number 2. So that's where they are right now. Number 3, they can't get any higher or lower, is the Philadelphia Eagles. They play at home to Dallas this week. Michael Vick seemed a little banged up in tonight's game, so he's someone who might get a little bit of a rest. So have to watch out for that. I'm going to skip number 4 for a sec, and we'll look at the wild card. We'll look at the wild card spot. New Orleans already has 1 spot currently, which could change depending on depending on what happens this week. Currently in the number 6 spot is a 3-way tie between the Green Bay Packers, the New York Giants, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's look at those games. As I said, Green Bay hosts Chicago this week. The Giants are at Washington, and I mentioned earlier that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are at New Orleans. So the way the tiebreaker stands right now, Green Bay is in that spot. So Green Bay has an easy win and you're in situation, although it may not be that easy since it's against the Bears. So if the Giants win and the Packers lose, then the Giants are in. If both the Giants and Packers lose and Tampa Bay wins, then it's Tampa Bay. So that's where the number 6 seed stands, and get back to the number 4 seed, which is the NFC West, currently led by the St. Louis Rams at a 7-8 record, who play at the Seattle Seahawks this week, which, by the way, has been chosen as the Sunday night game. So the Rams, easy, win and they're in. If the Seahawks win, though, then they pull into a tie with the Rams at which would be 7-9, and the Seahawks hold the tiebreaker, so they would win the division. So that is the only game like that in Week 17. Win and you're in, lose and you're out. The only game that directly determines a playoff spot. So, which is why it was chosen as the Sunday night game this week. So, Rams and Seahawks. That is the Sunday night game, and that is the game to watch. So I'm kind of rambling, but yeah, that's the way the matchups look in Week 17. I'll have the picks for you in a couple of days. And I will see you probably on Thursday with the Week 17 picks. Hopefully I'll know a little bit about who's resting and who's not resting. All the games in Week 17 are division games, by the way, so maybe a few teams will, even if they can't change their position, they'll be playing their players for pride or something like that. I don't know. But that's the way it stands for after Week 16. Week 17 picks coming up in a few days, and I really got nothing more to say, so I will see you in a couple of days with the Week 17 picks, the final full slate of picks for the season. So I'll see you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.